Hello, friends, and welcome back. Today, I am going to be doing the Anthropology of Religion 4. Remember, I am on Twitter, and now I am also on Discord. Those links will be in the description, as well as my source material. So let's go! Keene holds that if we examine religious language, we will better understand religious practices. He defines religious language as that which practitioners consider unusual, but not necessarily unusual from conversational language, but could be specific ideologies, which are suppositions on what language is and how it functions. A creed is an unambiguous statement of a religion's tenets for verbal execution and is unique to text-based evangelizing religions of Christianity and Islam. The creed contributes by giving doctrine a definite form, placing the position of the religion in the believer, differentiates religions, and makes religion portable. Religion is generally stable, and as such, can be used for retaining valuable social and cultural information. Ritual accomplishes that which religion sets out to do. All rituals have these 6 characteristics to varying degrees. Formalism means that rituals use more restricted speech and action than in everyday life. Traditionalism means that rituals use archaic elements. Invariance, rituals follow strict patterns. Rule governance, rituals are conducted by strict rules. Sacred symbolism, rituals use sacred symbols, like candles. And performance. Ritual entails public displays, usually repetitive public displays. Renfrew wanted to develop a list of materials that, when found in the archaeological record, would indicate a cult center. These include remains of sacrificial plants or animals, a place in a special building, or locations with specific architecture. With the advent of language, we could not only transcend the present and report on the past, we could also start planning for the future. As a result, social organization became more effective, differentiated, and flexible. Increased linguistic capabilities necessarily entailed better conceptual capabilities. New forms of learning emerged. With language, people can learn from others' experiences, as well as their own. Through recounting these experiences, it becomes public knowledge, which can be preserved as tradition. As humans, we live in a world in which we invent meanings. These meanings express an independently existing world as well as aid in its construction. While we live in a physical world of rock, grass, and water, we also live in a symbolically constructed world of ideas and abstractions such as good and evil, values, and imaginary beings. According to Rappaport, a ritual is an unvarying sequence of acts and utterances. There are 2 types of messages given during ritual: self-referential and canonical. Self-referential messages convey information about participants' current states and relationships of those current states, and are thus subject to change. On the other hand, Canonical messages are invariant and thus have nothing to do with the performer and cannot convey any information on the participant state. Canonical messages, being abstract in nature, can only be established on symbols. Both types are dependent upon each other. Self-referential messages convey information about participants' current states and relationships of those current states, and thus are subject to change. On the other hand, canonical messages are invariant and thus have nothing to do with the performer and cannot convey any information on the participant's state. Canonical messages, being abstract in nature, can only be established on symbols. Both types are dependent upon each other. Ritual's first fundamental office is that of performance. Liturgical orders must be performed. However, Rappaport asserts that the acceptance intrinsic to liturgical performance does not equal belief. As used here, belief is, in this context, a subjective state that can only be known to the individual. The second fundamental office of ritual is to establish convention. These conventions maintain that which is accepted, but conventions can also be established by decree, and therefore not only ritual establishes these conventions. Well, friends, we've come to the end of another show. I am trying to make these a little shorter so they're not so information dense. You can catch me on Twitter. I am now on Discord. And tell me what you think about my new look. Thank you. In addition to shortening these, because they are so information dense, I am also trying to speed up my upload schedule. I still am not going to promise more than one upload a week, but I will try. And as always, question everything and never be afraid. Goodbye, friends.